Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chaha Dash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And I want to get this article. It was on the news. You had a little 6-year-old boy. He ended up autism supposedly, and they searched for him. I actually heard somebody at the plantation talking about this too, how he drove 30, fucking miles or however amount of miles he drove from whatever city he was in to come and do a search, help with the search with the community. I heard a guy, over talking in a cafeteria this morning. And but what I wanted to focus on here is Dearborn nonprofit distributing tracking devices for kids with autism, vulnerable adults. See, what does it say? Tracking devices. And we've been talking about this for years. The apostles, the elders, the bishops on down have been talking about how, Esau, he's going to use the children, because that's generally how they get down, make you feel safe. You're going to know where your children are at all times. You can track them anywhere. That's going to cut down on trafficking. Kidnapping is going to be a thing of the past. All that good little stuff like that, right? So I done a lesson, maybe a few months back, going off into the shoe company. What's the name of it? I think it's Skechers, where they have the kids Skechers. You know what I'm saying? Where they have underneath the inside padding of the shoe, they have a slot for, like an Apple AirTag or, like a tracking device they claim it's to help you keep up with the kids' shoes. Like kids throw their shoes around everywhere. You're looking under the bed, you're looking under the couch, you're looking here and there, you find one shoe, you're trying to find. That's what they were really saying. But in reality, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We understand how Esau gets down. That because people are being tracked, man. I just seen a article with a lady, being ran down. You women definitely got to be careful, because I remember when the Apple AirTag came out, we done lessons on that, because that Apple AirTag, anybody can put one of them. But it's so many trackable devices that you can actually buy these days that are small. They have devices where you can actually see if somebody actually is tracking you, which is crazy work. But they have small devices, man, that you can pick up by, put it on a person, put it in a purse, put it in a damn shoe, put it in a. If you ever watched that movie with Will Smith, Gene Hackman, Enemy of the State, I think was the name of the movie. I actually got it on DVD. Very good movie. But if you look at that movie, you can see how they kept tracking Will Smith, because he was kind of wondering, like, how the fuck do they keep knowing where I'm at? But they had an ink pen. They changed out everything that he had, because he was like into an office. He was kind of like a professional, wore suits and ties and shit like that. They had a pair of shoes to match his shoes or something like that. They had a watch to match his watch. And then they kind of caught him up and they switched out all his stuff. An ink pen. So he had multiple trackers on him and didn't know. So once he came across Gene Hackman, Gene Hackman was, kind of like the expert in the field, and told him to take off all his shit and throw it all away or whatever. I gotta watch the movie again, so it's been a minute. But anyway, the point being made is this Revelation 13:16 is happening in real time. And next, what they're gonna come with is them actually placing this shit under the skin, man. They're going to start off, because that's how Esau does. It's convenient. Your children are going to be safe. We can track them anywhere. They won't get lost. If they do get lost or if they get kidnapped, we can track them. All this good little stuff, right? Anyway, but I want to play let me get the copyright disclaimer real quick. Even though it's the news, just want to be careful on it. And then lost a Esau throw your ass a copyright strike like it's nothing, man. But anyway, this is copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit education and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So let's just play this news clip. It's a few minutes long, but we can just play it just to see.
We begin following the frantic search that captivated Metro Detroit last night and thankfully brought to a happy ending. A 6-year-old boy with autism found safe after an 8-hour search in the bitter cold. And tonight, we're highlighting efforts to help families in this same situation. Thank you for joining us tonight for 7 News Detroit at 10. I'm Glenda Lewis. Jonathan vanished Sunday afternoon from his home in Madison Heights. An army of volunteers and law enforcement searched for hours, but just before midnight, a neighbor returned home from church to find Jonathan in his house.
This is actually the very spot I was standing when I finally got upstairs. He was sitting in this bath filled with water with clothes on. I noticed he didn't look at me or anything, so I stood here and I saw him playing and I'm like, oh.
The neighbor immediately called police, bringing Jonathan home 8 hours after he was last seen. Just last week, this was last time a Dearborn Heights man with autism was seen alive. 30-year-old Yusuf Naim was found dead in the Rouge River.
And let me stop it right there, because that's the Ishmaelite. I kind of drove by there that day, too. It's not too, I kind of be making trips at the plantation, around this area. And so this is Dearborn. Now, where this actually with the 6-year-old boy, that happened maybe, I don't even know, that's probably about a good, maybe, 40 or so miles. Well, maybe 30, 40 miles or so from this actual place right here. But, this is all Ishmael, or what they would call, Arabs or whatever, Muslims or whatever you want to. But this is actually Ishmaelite neighborhood. So they was out looking for this guy and searching for him. And he was off in that river. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord judged him, man. So now they want to pretty much come up with these tracking devices, to, pretty much, they're going to make it seem, in a way, it would be good. and don't get me wrong on saying that. You know what I'm saying? I get where they're coming from. Let me just rephrase that. I get where they're coming from, because you do have these people they wander off. Like they're looking for this one lady, the lady from the news, Gertrude or whatever her fucking name is. Her 84-year-old mom went missing, I think yesterday or the day before. They supposedly been still looking for her. I think her pacemaker or whatever is normally connected with her Apple Watch, and it was tracing that. So that's also another a detection device, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? All this Apple shit, all this shit is just getting crazy, man. It's getting weird. But yeah, they found this dude in the river right here, 30 years old.
After walking away from his home, his story inspiring change. 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham speaking with the co-founder of Blue Hands United for Autism and the families they're helping to protect.
It is every parent's worst nightmare. You turn your head for a split second and your child is gone. For families in the autism community, that fear is a daily reality. What played out on Sunday in Madison Heights hits close to home for families here in Dearborn.
My heart sank into my stomach. I cried for a while.
For Laura Wozniak, news of a missing child isn't just a headline, it's a trigger. On Sunday, when 6-year-old Jonathan walked away from his home in Madison Heights, she felt every second of his parents' agony. Her 7-year-old son, JJ, has autism, and she says the constant vigilance is exhausting.
I can hear when he's thinking about running away. Like, I know him so well. I can just, in his body language and everything, I know. And the fact that he's gotten away from me before, it scares me.
Ali Basie shares that anxiety. His 7-year-old son is nonverbal, just like the young boy in Madison Heights.
As a parent of a child with special needs, when these things happen, you feel like it happens to your child. And my wife and I were talking last night. I go, this feels reminiscent of just 2 weeks ago.
He's referring to Yusuf Naeem, a 30-year-old with autism who wandered away from home. In the autism community, it's known as eloping. Tragically, Dearborn Heights police later found his body in the Rouge River. Now, turning that pain into purpose, Mona Alloway, co-founder of Blue Hands United for Autism, launched Yusuf's Guiding Hands. The organization is now distributing tracking devices like AirTags that parents can place discreetly on their children or vulnerable adults.
There is no blame or shame on the family or on a school or on a community if a child elopes from a home. It's a very common act or behavior, and it's usually they have a plan. There's a mission.
So far, she says she's received 250 requests for the devices.
There's no, foolproof, solution to anything, but if we can provide a little sense of comfort, then we feel it was successful.
Both the Basie and Wozniak families now have the trackers, a small piece of technology providing some sense of relief.
We are so fortunate to live in this day and age to have AirTags and other technologies to be able to find people very quickly.
The peace of mind that these AirTags from Yusuf's initiative gave us is amazing.
If you'd like to connect with Blue Hands United for Autism, we've got their information at
Okay, so you get the point. Let's go to the scripts. But you can see how they'll use this to actually. You don't think that them parents right there won't allow their those kids they'll take their children to get chipped, man. For real, they'll do that shit. But this is Revelation 13. Let's get to the point here, verse 16. Because, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let me get this one real fast. Let me come out of here. Let me go to the blue letter. Oh shit! What the fuck happened to my Slocky? Oh, there it go. My New Living Translation. I normally run it side by side. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. In the New Living Translation, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. See, Scripture talks about blessed is the man that read. And when you read, the more you read, and the more you watch these videos, you start to see the pattern. You start to see your enemy, because the Lord, he shows us our enemy and his actions and the way that he gets down. Esau is a cunning hunter, man. Esau is the biblical name for the so-called white man. He's a very cunning hunter. And how does he hunt most things? Hey, this man is tracking everything. He's been tracking animals. He'll put, as a matter of fact, I done the Saturday camp inside. And, it's kind of like, watching the news. And these motherfuckers was putting tracking devices on butterflies, bro. Literally, butterflies, watching them, just fly away and, and tracking them to wherever the hell they go. And, this man, he tracks turtles, sharks, whales, you name it, man. Lions. He tracks everything, bro. So you don't think that this man wouldn't want to track your ass? He got license plate readers everywhere. He got cameras all over the place, The police work for these people have become super easy because they don't have to do nothing but just, go look at a camera, connect that camera with another camera, connect that camera with another camera, ring doorbell camera, license plate reader over here, camera over there. Because it's kind of almost impossible to get anywhere, move anywhere without being recorded these days, man. Somebody got you. You're on camera somewhere, even in your own vehicle. A lot of these vehicles with the cameras in them. I done a lesson on that yesterday. You got the microphones, you got cameras on your phone, you got cameras in TVs, you got cameras. It's just every fucking where. So this man, he has that know-how. It's within him to hunt. And he hunts people, man. He researches everything. This motherfucker is not. Hey, he's coming with that chip. And you got some of these niggas. Why would the white man want to chip? What the fuck you mean? Why would he not want to chip you? He doing everything else. Want to know your every damn move? Anyway, this man, hey, Esau is the professional lip reader, man. I remember back in the days, they used to have those movies. If you look at some of those older movies, some 70s movies, and they would have the guy be on the sidewalk, like the mobster movies and shit. The mobsters would be talking and shit, and they'll have a motherfucker up on the top of a fucking building with some binoculars, looking down at his lips and reading his lips, actually seeing what the fuck these motherfuckers is really talking about. They got professional lip readers. So Esau has always been into stuff like that, man. But let's go into that Revelation, man, because this is what it's all boiling down to. And they're going to come with it in a way where they're going to try and make it seem like it's going to make you safe. It's going to make things convenient. That's what they're going to do at first. But they're going to get a lot of resistance, because a lot of people are going to be like, fuck no. People are already upset about their privacies being taken right now. But when it straight comes down to it, it's going to be a lot of people that are going to go for this. But it's going to be a lot of resistance. And that's when they're going to come down with the hammer. Why you think they buying up all these warehouses, man, right now? Crazy, man. We getting there. They setting the stage. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Right? So you're not going to be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to do anything in society unless you take this man's mark. And he has the infrastructure already set. You can't do anything these days without an email. You can't do anything these days without a bank account. You know what I'm saying? Some type of electronic, digital something. You got to have something. Those days of checks is over with. When you used to get a paper check, you sign the back, endorse your name on the back of it, take it to the bank, cash the shit. All that stuff is over with, man. You can still go certain places and get a money order, but they're gonna clip all that, man. They're gonna clip all that. Way back in the days, they started with the sending money through electronically, like MoneyGram and Western Union, shit like that. Now they have newer systems where it's all just digital, man. But see, like with Western Union and MoneyGram, places like that, what they would normally do is, you go in, this person sent me this amount of money, you have the transaction number or receipt number or whatever, confirmation number, you show it to them, you know what I'm saying, you give them your name, your ID, and they just count out the cash to you. All that shit is about to be over. You see what I'm saying? So let's go to chapter 14, Revelation 14:9. Put a highlight on that. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Your ass gonna be toast, man. Brown bread, as the apostle called it. You're gonna be toast, man. You don't want no parts of what's coming with this, man, because the Lord is going to destroy you, especially you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is for you. You are the Hebrew Israelites. You belong to the Lord. The Lord is a very jealous power, right? You get to talking about, because what's going to happen is, if you take this man's microchip, what you're saying is, this man now all of a sudden he's your God, or he's your handler, or he's your pretty much overall your damn God. You're going to be destroyed, man. Now Revelation 16:2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial, put a highlight on that too, and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. See that? So that noisome and grievous sore, I went into this word noisome before, and it sounds like noise, but it's not. That's going into a smell. That's going into a stench. That's going into a rottage, man. Somebody smelling rotten. So ain't no telling what the fuck this shit. You got to realize that we shouldn't even have these phones on us throughout the day like how we have them on us, because it's already radiation, so to speak, within them. So imagine having this shit underneath your skin, man. You driving by fucking towers all damn day long, and them towers is pinging and zapping your ass. Come on, bro. That's just not gonna be a good look. Let me go back to chapter 12, Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So he knows he has a short time, right? So he already he has set the stage. It's already set. It's ready to go. And with these Epstein files and all this weird shit that's going on, man, there's no telling what these people might do, man. At what point? They talking about new diseases. They talking about new, you know what I'm saying, endemics and shit, man. Just ain't no telling what these people are about to get into, man. You know? So, I just wanted to touch on this, man. I didn't want to keep it long. I seen that, and I'm just like, yep. This is how we, you know... It makes sense that they would come at you, you know, with your, you know, for your children first. To make it seem as if, oh, well, it's going to cut it. Especially with all this Epstein shit. All this trafficking. We're going to stop trafficking. It's going to kill all the kidnappings. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm trying to think. What African country? It's an African country that's talking about chipping babies, man, from the jump. Newborns. Let me see. Yep, it's Kenya. Kenya government not planning. Let me see. What does it say? Okay, so they done switched it up on them. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Because some of them are saying that they, because they talking about Bill Gates. Some are saying, let me see, a new biometric vaccine. Okay, no, that's not. It's not what it's saying. I don't get you people trusting this man anyway. But I did see something on somebody saying something about these African country or whatever supposedly chipping the babies, man. But this one is saying, based on recent reports, there is no African country implementing or talking about chipping, microchipping. But it was. Somebody did say that. One of them, I think it was the leader of the damn country that said it. A 2024 initiative in Canada is testing biometric technology, specifically using fingerprints of newborns and voice imprints of caregivers to improve vaccine coverage. No, we ain't talking about no damn fact. Yeah, well, you know, hey, once this stuff get out here, man, they get to scrubbing stories, man. Cause I seen that. Let me see. Yeah, I think that the news got out there, and the backlash, you know. So this says Kenya's newborn baby's chip ID revolution with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is advocating for digital ID system in Kenya. Why the fuck is you all the way in Kenya? Why the fuck is you go deal with your own? But this is the thing. This is Esau, man. How he gets down on you people of color, so to speak. Even though these are, you know, Hamites that they're really dealing with. These are not actually Israelites. So we don't give a shit. But what you notice though is that Esau, he doesn't deal with his own people like that, man. He goes to places where people of color are, and they get to testing their bullshit on Jake, man. Or not just these Hamites, but they test on Jake too. So let me end out with this scripture. This is why the scripture says, man, never trust Esau. You see this man coming, you better be You see this man coming, you better be knowing that he's about to come with some damn wickedness, man. He can't help himself. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Let me get verse 11 as well. Let me see here, Salak. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, because that's what they go, we love the kids. We don't want the kids to get lost. Okay, so if the parents can have, can track the children, who else can track the children? Because it's got to be running through someone else's system. So Esau is nothing for him to, we're going to track down, like how could this possibly happen? Esau, man, is a character, man. Verse 11 again. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rest have not been altogether wiped away. See? So when he gets to humbling, he gets to crouching. Oh, we love the people. We love the kids. We love the babies. This is for your good. This is for your benefit. You better know. He's coming down with the knife and straight down into your damn back, man, from there. So this man is never to be trusted, man. So, walk circumspectly and, continue to pray. We're definitely getting to the end of this thing because this is one of the main prophecies that's got to come to pass, man. That microchipping. What do you think? I'm telling you, these warehouses, Trump and them buying up these warehouses. Let's see. You're supposed to be supposedly shipping these people out of the country. What do you need these warehouses for? Here's one right here. 87 million, bro, on a warehouse. And it says they on a resistant erupts over ICE warehouse buying spree. They're on a buying spree, bro. See, and it says it's rattling locals. And see, these Edomites, they don't want nothing like that around them. And just in case it's supposedly a jailbreak. But what they don't get, and what they don't understand is that shit is for you. This for you fucking Americans too, man. Yeah, man. It's Bloomberg.com. ICE begins buying mega warehouse detention centers across the U.S. Yeah, man. You don't, like, why would you need them? Why would you supposed to be, putting the people on the plane, so-called, flying them back to wherever they came from, right? So why do you need to spend, this is just one warehouse, 87 million. Just one. So, man, hey, man, yeah, Esau, man, shit, this boy about to get down, man. Let me see, Trump. I ain't gonna even go into it, man. Because we know what it is. We know what it is. When I'm in out there, I pray that the lesson was edifying with that Kwame Yashala and the bubble ball.